We care on this side first and foremost about children. We care about the perpetuation of the heterosexual normal family as the basis of civilized society here and in other countries.
You wouldn't want to bump into them women in a dark alley. They'd have your guts for garters, wouldn't they? Yeah?
I've been saying this is a good idea for years. Young people have such vulnerable minds.
The late 1980s were the era of Margaret Thatcher's Conservative government in the UK. Among her many controversial reforms was the Local Government Act, Section 28, which prohibited local governments and schools from promoting homosexuality, and prevented council funding for homosexuals in need. Therefore, it was also known as the homophobic law. Georgia Oakley's debut film, Blue Jean, plunges directly into the heart of the storm of that time, featuring a high school PE teacher named Jean as the protagonist, showing how she copes with national-level oppression. Jean lives at the intersection of two worlds, one for work, and the other for her personal life. During the day, she is Miss Jean while working at school, and at night, she is her true self, Baby Jean, in a gay bar. She walks a tightrope between traditional closed-mindedness and free-thinking. As the legislative process of Section 28 progresses, and a female student with homosexual tendencies appears, her carefully guarded balance becomes even more fragile. However, even without external pressures, Jean did not feel proud of her sexual orientation like her girlfriend Viv and other members of the homosexual community. She was not ready to come out, although her family was aware. Concealing her true identity was a mentally and physically exhausting thing, and Jean eventually paid the price for going against her conscience. Blue Jean won 4 awards at the British Independent Film Awards. Rosy McEwen, who plays Jean, won Best Actress in a Leading Role in her first starring role. Her performance is full of intricate details, accurately portraying two conflicting selves. During the day, there is a bright surreal dream, while at night, a hidden reality of joy and pain. The process of breeding tension on her was clearly visible. But she has a unique charm and always maintains a cold, elegant contour. The title of the film Blue Jean is taken from David Bowie's song of the same name in 1984. Jean's blonde short hair and soft androgynous clothing also gives her a new romantic masculine of Bowie. The film doesn't shy away from directly displaying Jean's slim and athletic body. However, the extraordinary vitality of her initially apparent hermaphroditism gradually withered in indecisiveness. She was always in a state of being ready to defend or dodge. The film doesn't tell Jean's whole story in a straightforward way. It deliberately hides some information and reveals it in the final stages. For example, Jean had a heterosexual marriage in the past. She has just divorced 2 years before the start of the film. This indicates that she is not a homosexual with self-awareness from an early age, which makes her hesitation in admitting her identity more reasonable. We can also feel her loneliness and anxiety and understand why she looked shy when she sees other women kissing boldly and revealing their bodies, and why she has to listen to hypnotic words to fall asleep. Until Lois asks where the money for supporting members of the lesbian community who are struggling comes from, we find out that Jean has been one of the donors all along. This makes those who may have been hesitant towards her unable to criticize her anymore. Jean is like a character from the real 80s walking into our view. The film accurately captured the atmosphere of that era in every aspect. The warm and gentle images with a grainy texture, the carefully selected 80s electronic music, and the broadcast and TV programs interspersed throughout the film all resonated with the provocative slogans on the streets. Especially the infamous speech by Margaret Thatcher at the 1987 Conservative Party conference.
Children who need to be taught to respect traditional moral values are being taught that they have an inalienable right to be gay.
Although the 80s are somewhat distant from us, this kind of accusation against the LGBT rights movement still exists. Moreover, it reminds us of the same rhetoric targeting transgender people today. The battle of cultural liberation is always ongoing. The mistake Jean makes is not being afraid to admit her identity, but rather believing that staying silent could protect herself in such a hostile circumstance.
I don't want my students on every part of my life. What kind of example are you setting for her?
That's not fair.
None of this is fair.
What, just because I don't parade my sexuality around like a badge of honour?
You know, how is that girl ever going to learn that she has a place in this world if you, of all people, tells her that she doesn't?
Or do you think she has a place in this world?
This argument leads to the breakdown of Jean and Viv's relationship, which was in the honeymoon phase. However, she soon realizes that Viv was right. Everything is about politics. The final shots of the film sweep over a destroyed Thatcherite slogan, suggesting that society still has the potential for self-correction, and foreshadowing what Jean will do when she returns to school. Although Jean may have temporarily lost love and work, she reconciles with herself after struggling and becomes our role model. She inspires us to find joy and hope even under the national level upside-down paranoia. We can still find spaces for joy and hope.